Proceed when you're ready.
Tonight we'd like for you to take into consideration the actions taken by both of the defendants leading up to our victim, the school police, Jack's death. After stating the necessary facts in this case incriminating both defendants, we feel it's appropriate for both of them to face charges for conspiracy, burglary, and the making and selling of illegal methamphetamines. We find it necessary for the delinquent defendant to be faced with felony murder rule under first degree and second defendant with second degree murder for taking the life of a school policeman who was only trying to do his own job by protecting the school grounds. After having the principal state himself that Mr. Anderson was a perfectly nice guy and had a great relationship with all of his students, we find it more than necessary for that to disregard the allegations for insanity or any mental issues, especially since there was no previous he was not actually diagnosed. So we like to state that he in fact should go down for second degree murder and was fully aware of what he was doing at the time of the incident.
Does the defense have a closing argument?
Yes. Do I say would we have to counteract the argument or?
Just close it.
Okay. We would like for our defendants to have no charges for Mr. Anderson as well as one charge for David, but actually no charges for David. The reason why we would like for no charges for Mr. Anderson is because his insanity, his disorder, even though it was medically undiagnosed and he didn't go to the hospital, there's certain signs, and even the students said that he was always jolly, go happy, and he loved science, and the way he wanted his students to always go and immerse himself into science was an extra step than other teachers. And for David to go, and I'm gonna charge for David's offense is infancy, because he's underage, and at his age his brain isn't fully developed and he is easily influenced. And his statement is that he was watching Breaking Bad. I don't know if anyone's seen that show, but it basically shows and teaches how to make drugs, and you can make money quick. So for him to be able to be so easily influenced by that, and he being such a young age, you don't know the actual consequences of what it could lead to. And David was no genius. He actually, because if he was a genius, he wouldn't have gotten caught. He would have planned it accordingly. And not only that, for the weapon that he pulled in Breaking Bad in the first episode, it shows that the protagonist was going to get caught and he had a gun. But David, as being underage, had no way of getting a gun. So the closest thing to that would have been a knife. And obviously, in that further episode, shows him not doing anything. And David was just there to just hold on to it, because there's no way of him holding that. It's just as a way from an influence from the TV show. So he had no prior actual actions and deliverance to killing somebody or injuring somebody, and there's no proof of that. Not only that, for Mr. Anderson, his disability is actually, if tested, it could show that he has a disability for that, and how he didn't, his mindset wasn't there, and thinking it was drugs, it was just saying, oh, this is what students love, he must love it, so I'll protect him at no cost. And even the principal said he always loved what he did, or like he had a degree in science and he hired him, and then there's no problems, he had no further past problems. And not only that, like Mr. Anderson just wanted to show his students that he loved science. And for when he entered the building, the principal said he sometimes went in and got stuff, and Mr. Anderson did this solely for the purpose of science, not taking and depriving of the school without using it for school purposes, which would have been that. And that's what his mindset, for school purposes and for science projects. David, on the other hand, was under the influence and easily influenced by a TV show, not knowing the actual consequences of this. And closing argument would be that no charges would be put on both Mr. Anderson and David, one for being infancy and the other one being insanity.
Thank you. Can the jury quickly deliberate?
Yes.